Right, everyone, put on your bags. My name is not AI Video, it is Jordan Di-Corpo. I'm going to be teaching you AI video generation today. Right, listen up. I'm going to show you how I got a AI to create an entire 45-second animation for free. Yeah, but isn't AI just getting a robot to do what we do but for free? Ah, see? That's how I thought less than 24 hours ago. Here's how that turned out.
The bustling kitchen of Giggleville, Mrs. Wobblestack flips pancakes onto a sizzling skillet. With a cheerful tone, she asks who's ready for a delicious breakfast. Flapjack, a mischievous pancake, sees his chance when Mrs. Wobblestack turns her back. He thinks to himself, it's now or never. Flapjack flips off the skillet and rolls across the kitchen floor. Startled, Mrs. Wobblestack shouts to stop that pancake. Flapjack is on the move, tumbling through the kitchen. Outside in Giggleville, Flapjack rolls out the swinging kitchen door, followed by Benny Bacon and Sally Syrup. They're on an adventure, grinning with excitement. They roll down the sidewalk, causing giggles and laughter everywhere. Narrowly dodging a whisk and somersaulting past a pile of fluffy flour, they continue their joyful journey. Sally Syrup laughs and exclaims that this is the best. Benny Bacon flips over a pancake flipping contest sign, proudly declaring himself the Bacon of champions. Later, the trio stumbles upon a playful group of kittens. The mischievous kittens bat Flapjack, Benny and Sally around like tiny soccer balls. Flapjack laughs and calls it pancake-tastic. Eventually, Mrs. Wobblestack catches up with her runaway breakfast following the giggles. She smiles and scoops up Flapjack, Benny and Sally. Mrs. Wobblestack remarks that the little rascals had quite the adventure. Flapjack grins, Benny does a bacony somersault and Sally giggles. But now it's time to come back to the kitchen. Mrs. Wobblestack leads them back through the swinging door. Back in Giggleville, the trio, now legends, rolls back into the kitchen. The town echoes with joyous laughter and the smell of pancakes. And as the video fades out, the background music remains upbeat and comical.
Quite clearly, not the outcome that we wanted. And so today, to get an outcome that we do want, which should be animated, about 40 seconds long, and have a coherent script, we are going to follow my 8 steps that I discovered last night and have been working on all throughout the day and evening, and I'm going to teach it to you now. Right, so step one. Step one is pretty simple. You've got to ask the AI to design prompts that will lead to the images for your film. You need to, first of all, create these images so that you can then animate it afterwards, but we'll get into that in more depth later on. Head on to either ChatGPT, Bard AI, powered by Google, and just type in your prompt, asking them to create a script or a storyline for an animator that keeps the clips under about 3 seconds. This is important because these clips need as little movement as possible at the moment. So yeah, so get your AI to write a script. Step one. Okay, now that you've got all your prompts, you now need to feed these prompts into your image generator. I either recommend Adobe Firefly, Midjourney's pretty good, but I quite like using Adobe Firefly myself because it's covered under the Uni Premiere Pro bundle. So we get it for free, and also it means that you can use a tool called generative fill. That means that if, say, your person is waving in one picture and you don't want him to wave, you can rub that out and you can get him to, I don't know, have a fist, maybe, something like that. You can basically replace whatever you want that image with something else. You, yes you, what's your question? Bro, that's mine. But how am I getting these pictures to move and dance? I'm just coming on to that. Step 3 now. Okay, so now that you've got your AI images, and you're happy with all of the scenes that you got, now you're going to take the first set of AI images and we're going to put them into our animation software. Now for me, myself, whilst I was doing this project, I decided to put them into Pika, which is a Discord server, completely free, hence why I've used it. Some other people do like to use Midjourney because Midjourney it's a lot more powerful of a tool, but it is something that's a bit more expensive. The downside to this is that the AI generated images that you've created, a lot of the times they won't keep their character. So if you've got a set character in your animation, unless you're paying for a software that is specifically tailored towards creating animations using the AI, it will just swap out the faces. So anyway, you put them into Pika and Pika will then spit out a 3-second clip. Now you're probably sat there wondering, what am I going to do with a 3-second clip, Jordan? Well, here's where this comes in handy. Now, because we've done this, we can do step 3.5. Now step 3.5. What's step 3.5, I hear you say? Go on, all shout it out. That's right, folks. Well, step 3.5 is quite an important one. You take the last frame from the last animation that you put in and you put it into a software online called Final Frame. You extract the final frame and you put it back into Pika and then you get an extra 3 seconds. Whilst it's in Pika though, it has a lot of handy tools. Tools such as camera positioning, lighting effects, FPS changes, things like that. Everything that every filmmaker would need in case they were actually animating this film themselves. That's step 3 for you. Done. Anyway, moving on to step 4, voiceover. Voiceover is extremely important in these animation films. You see them all the time. Watch scrolling through TikTok, you'll have that plain bland voice giving you the same sort of Reddit sort of story. It gets boring, but there are plenty of options online. You don't have to choose the first one that comes up. You can have a look around. You can play with how quickly they talk, how quietly they may talk, how exaggerated they are. Certain things do make the voiceover unstable, and that may mean that it breaks up a bit. It might not sound quite human, might quite sound robotic, but there's plenty of options out there. Some people have already made them and fine-tuned them so that you don't have to. There are celebrity voiceovers now that you can use. People like Snoop Dogg have got one. That one's quite funny. Gwyneth Paltrow's got her own one. What else? Morgan Freeman. You know, you find these voiceovers anywhere. So yeah, step 4, get a voiceover. Okay, now step 4. Assuming you've been following along and you've now got all of your video clips from step 3.5 after you put them in again, or however many times that you need to get the length of time that you need, you can then put them into your editing software of choice. I chose Premiere Pro because that's quite a simple standard Adobe software. It's also the only one that I can get to really sort of run on my computer. There are AI video editors out there, however, I didn't want to be messing around on GitHub trying to get stuff onto my computer that might brick it. Stick them into your video editing software. Hopefully they all line up nicely. You've used all the last frames, put them all in properly, and it should come out with a rough cut, no sound effects, nothing like that, but a small story that you can follow along visually, and it should somewhat look coherent. As I've said, everything that was used in this video has been free software, so none of the faces are going to be matching, the continuity's out of the window, and yeah. If you are looking to use AI video editors, there are AI video editors out there, however, I've only seen them work with certain other softwares like DaVinci Resolve. You can program it for Adobe Premiere Pro, but like I said, I need a bit more of a beefier PC to run that kind of AI video editor. So for this example and the AI video that we're making today, I'm going to be creating the edit and doing all the final edit, but I am literally just going to be following the script of what Bard AI has told me to put in. I won't be adding any extra sound effects other than the ones that it suggests, and I also won't be giving any more prompts other than the prompts that it has told me to. I might use generative fill in case I need a prop filling in. For instance, in the case that I did, I had to get the acorn added in using generative fill because it wouldn't generate in Adobe Firefly. Once you've got them into Adobe Premiere Pro, that's when we need to start looking at sound effects and things like that. Right, moving on to step 6. Now that you've got your voiceover, we can now start to lip sync the video. A lot of these are paid for subscriptions, and unfortunately, when creating my 45-second animation example earlier, I had actually run out of lip sync time available because I had been experimenting the night before. So, to do the lip syncs, head on to a Deep Shot, DID, Lamu, any sort of website like that. You can find them all online. Most of them will have a word count or a set amount of time in seconds that you can't actually go over. So I had to obviously skip this step in my film today because I ran out of words. Yeah, and I'm a student, so break. Okay, this is post-edit me now. I actually made a mistake when I was explaining earlier. Don't put your video straight into a video editor, okay? You're just wasting time. Stick them into the lip syncing bit first, then put them into the video editor, then you get your story. Moving on to step 7. This is where we do our sound effects. For me personally, I use a couple of websites. BBC Library is quite good, YouTube's good. I've not written it on here, but Pixel Bay, I believe that is. Epidemic Sounds, any of those. Grab all of the sound effects that your AI created in the prompts that we made earlier and just chuck them in, find which ones work. You can also get an AI to actually find these sound effects for you. However, again, it's probably an unpaid subscription that I just can't pay for. There's so many different ones. So yeah, step 7, sound effects, BBC Library, YouTube. Stick them all into Premiere Pro, neaten them all up, put them where you want. Or if you've got the AI to do the editing for you as well, then what you'll do is you'll take all of the sound effects that you've downloaded and you will put them into a folder directory that the AI will be able to pull out from and hopefully put in the correct places with the images. All of this software is very much still in its early stages of development, and so it's not perfect. It won't do it right every time. You will have to adjust it, make corrections, things like that. As I've said, the software that I'm using is all completely free, and basically the software that a lot of people are using on TikTok to all sort of grab all their sound effects from BBC Library and YouTube and things like that, that's all automated. They're paying for robots to do it. They're paying hundreds of pounds a month because it makes sense for them. They're getting 10 grand in just in advertisements alone as you're scrolling through TikTok. So yeah, step 7, sound effects, boom. Moving on to step 8, here is where we export our video. Now you can get AI to do this all for you again as well. However, because I'm not letting AI fuck my computer, I'm just going to be doing it myself, clicking export and uploading it. Once you've done that, you've got your fully AI video, and here's how mine turned out.
Oh dear, it seems I've run out of supplies.
Master Shoemaker, is everything all right? Dear friend, the shoemaker needs our help. Can you guide me to find the finest materials in the forest? Wise gnome, would you trade this for a piece of your moonlit bark?
Thank you, dear friend. With these, I can create shoes more wondrous than ever before.
Thank you for watching. This has been really fun to add to my artist notebook. It's been fun teaching you all. You too, Billy. And yeah, see you all in the next one.